Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of A Blind Guy,
His Wife,
Their Life Live. Welcome to the weekend. We are working our way towards Friday. It's Thursday.
I'm already dancing, Corey.
One more day, just hang in there, and the week will be over for you.
Woo, we are almost there.
Well, we want to welcome you to this channel where we explore entertainment, career opportunities, and choices. And we also explore health and wellness. We have a great time doing it as we shift the narrative of what it means to be normal, breaking expectations, especially when it comes from talking about being disabled as opposed to being differently able. We are here for you every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 11:15 a.m. Eastern Time.
Eastern Standard Time. See, that's what happens when you try to outdo somebody. You get outdone. So guys, 11:15 Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you're watching this on the replay, please leave a comment. Let us know what you thought. If you have any questions and you're in the live, drop them in the chat. Or, of course, leave us a comment. We do answer all comments.
And remember, this broadcast is member supported by viewers like you. So how can they become a part of our member family?
Oh, all you have to do is buy us coffee. You know, we have BMAC, Buy Me a Coffee. All you have to do is go there and / Blind Guy, His Wife, Their Life. I think it's just Blind Guy, His Wife, actually.
Right.
Anyways, guys, I'll just show it to you. That makes it a little bit easier because once you hit that page, you see right at the top, Blind Guy, His Wife, Their Life. Corey's eyes don't work, guys. Corey is blind, and we have to say it that way because every time we say Corey can't see, people laugh because they think no husbands can see. That's the way husbands work. You know what I mean? And so, Corey's eyes don't work. He has a wife. That's me. People don't remember my name. I'm like, LaQuita Marie. They're like, oh, Corey's wife. We celebrate life. So guys, that's what the Buy Me a Coffee is all about. Member supported by viewers like you. So that means you can come here and support this production by buying 1 coffee, 3 coffees, 5 coffees. They're only $5 each, or you can put in your own amount. I'm going to put 525 coffees in there. So that way I can support the stream or this production, but keep in mind 100% of all proceeds do go to Pond Edutainment Incorporated. It's a 501c3 nonprofit organization that we started, oh my goodness, 22 years ago, 23 years ago.
Over 20 years ago.
I always lose track. So, you know, all those good things. So guys, that's how you can support this, but keep in mind, one of the biggest ways you can support us is with a thumbs up.
Bum rush the button.
Absolutely. Bum rush the buttons. And another way that you can support this stream is by sharing the content so that other people can find the value as well.
Speaking of content value today, we have a very special guest. He's found ways to mentor people at all aspects of life. He's been a mentor through youth football coaching. He's a song lyricist, so he's been influencing people through his music. He's been doing all sorts of wonderful things for the youth and for people as a whole. He is none other than Wade Staten Jr. We're gonna bring him in to say a quick hello to everybody.
So let's say good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
All right.
So this is exciting. We hear that you are like everything. I just thought you were like pastor and you sing. I didn't know you were like a big time artist. You work with all the people in the industry. You've impacted so many people in different areas of life through education, music,
comedy.
Yeah. So are you ready for today?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready.
All right.
All right. Get ready. Huh?
Right.
That's it. So we'll see you soon. All right.
We'll see you soon.
All right. This is going to be good, Corey.
Now, after our featured guest, we always end our broadcast with a plant-based treat from none other than Chef LaQuita Marie.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to give them a sneak preview or you going to make them wait?
Oh, of course. You know, a sneak preview is always just fine because today, guys, I think I did a video on when I made these meatballs. So here we go.
Mighty meatless meatball subs.
Mighty meatless meatballs. And those
Yes.
subs were so good. Those meatballs they tasted just like Italian sausages. And she, LaQuita Marie, as they say, put a foot in it.
Hey, that's how you know it's good.
I made sure she washed the feet first. So. Now I'm gonna read the comments today. We got the first person in, and you know the first person in, they always have the privilege of buying us 300 coffees right off the bat. So thank you, Philip Waldo Jr., PWJ.
How did you know he was first? Now you're gonna get him talking about you because you know he's always like, Corey can see, y'all, Corey can see. And like we said, you know, part of this experience with us today or any day that we're here on Blind Guy His Wife is that Corey does not put up many blinds. Corey can't see. So Corey can read, like when you could see, you used to read books and all that kind of stuff. And I have to say that because our kids, one time at school, they were like, well, my dad can't read. But what they meant was that he can't read me a book and print. Yeah. So anyways, guys, for those of you that know us, you know better, but you already know Philip Waldo Jr. is saying, good morning, all.
Good morning, PWJ in the house.
And then, of course, we've got XDMC, One Love Family.
XDMC. Check out XDMC on Barnstorming Productions on YouTube. This guy is one of the dopest animators I've met. And I say that because LaQuita, she looks at his animation and is just like, wow, when she sees it.
I explained it to Corey. What's happening. I've gotten pretty good at explaining action things with the words, because usually I would be like, ooh, but now, you know, I'm a lot better these days. So we also have Philip Waldo Jr. and XDMC talking to each other, but XDMC is like, I guess Corey, Philip Waldo Jr. has to behave since the pastor's in the house.
No.
He claims he's always on good behavior. So he's talking to Philip Waldo Jr. I guess, Philip, that, you know, Corey's going to, first of all, y'all telling stories. We are storytellers. It looks like XDMC is one as well.
Y'all see my halo. It's rusted and tilted to the side.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Sonia with the Y says, good morning, all. I couldn't be first because I was on the phone with Dad.
All right, come on now. What is that, the running theme these days, on the phone with Dad?
Okay, get a good story and stick with it.
All right, thanks for joining us, Sonia. Sonia with the Y.
Look, you know what? Let her sing. Sonia with the Y is a vocalist. Go to her channel and hear her, not him. Philip Waldo Jr. is saying, you knew he was first because he read the comment. You know what? We're not gonna give away all the secrets. And he's bantering back and forth with Sonia with the Y saying, whatever, Sonia with the Y. Like that's that was his story, his original story. You can't use somebody else's story unless you are an official storyteller like ourselves. Philip Waldo Jr. He says, oh, he's a PK. Time to cut up. That's what Philip Waldo Jr. is telling XDMC. You already know. So, Corey, we've got to get through the introduction. Are you going to do a 5-minute story time to introduce our guest today?
We actually have a unique 5-minute story today because our 5-minute story time is coming directly from the talents of our featured guest. You see?
Oh, no, I wasn't going to play that. I wanted you to talk about it.
Oh, you're not going to play that?
I mean, I can play a little bit of it, but because of the way the audio works, it's like, you know, it's kind of wacky, so I can show it, and you can talk about it, but...
I got to call an audible. Omaha, 98, check. Kill. Switching up. All right, so now I'm changing up the 5-minute story. I actually will tell you a 5-minute story about the featured guest father. I've been knowing this gentleman for quite some time.
And I'm going to pull up his Facebook page because he is a comedian. And as a comedian, what he does is he engages people at different places. Are you going to give that set up so they know why he's here in this setting, or is it fine for me to do so?
You can go ahead.
Y'all see how I did that, right?
Yeah,
basically told him what I was going to do.
She just cut my story off, but okay. she see how that goes. She says, tell a 5-minute story, and then it's like, okay, now I'm going to take over the story. So go ahead.
You already know. That's what happens when you have a wife. So if you guys can see this screen, okay, this is at a banquet. He was hired as a comedian at this banquet. And so, yeah, this is what's happening. I'll let it play. You tell your story, Corey. And the people are laughing in here because he was hired as a comedian. Go ahead.
Now, football runs deep with me, and it also runs deep with our featured guest today. And it runs deep for several reasons. Now, on his side, his love for football came from his father. And it was said that when his father was a child, that his mother would not let him play football. This is when he was in high school. So his father said, I can't play football. I might as well go kill myself. So he went upstairs and made himself.
So wait a minute. He said, I might as well go kill myself. The guest today.
Not the guest, the father, his dad. This is back in 1960 something.
Okay.
So his father made a dummy out of a pillowcase and a bunch of clothes, put a rope around it, and threw it out of its upstairs window. And of course, the dummy went down.
Corey, I had to stop the video because the people were laughing and their video was moving. But go ahead.
The dummy flew down past the window of the den where the mother, his grandmother, was sitting talking to another friend. And when she saw it, my baby, and she went to an asthma attack. The featured guest grandfather ran upstairs and saw the featured guest father, Wade Staten Sr., sitting on the side of the bed holding the rope.
Well, he was holding the rope where he had hung the dummy
down. So all of a sudden, the story goes, Wade Staten Sr., our featured guest father, went running down the stairs and ran out the back door and broke down the screen door.
Didn't even open it. Jumped
over the car. And the featured guest father.
Wait, why was he running?
Because he was running from his father.
He knew he was going to get it for making his mom lose her breath.
Right. So the featured guest grandfather was running behind him, but turned around and asked the featured guest grandmother, "Where are my car keys?" She said, "You got to chase him. He ain't got that far here." He said, "No, I got to go take him to football practice."
If he can run and jump like that.
He ran through a screen door. So this is one of the stories that is told as part of the comedy routines of the featured guest today. So now
he tells it better though, because he's an official comedian.
I'm just a bootleg comedian. But now it's time for today's featured guest. He is a comedian. He is a song lyricist. He is a pastor and a business owner. He is none other than Wade Staten Jr.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey,
what's going on there?
Good morning. Let me tell you, everybody is ready for you, because when you popped in earlier, just to say good morning, Philip Waldo Jr. was already on it saying, "Good morning, Wade." The people here, they are ready for you. Our kids, our Watoto, are saying, "Hey, y'all." And Sonia with the Y is saying back, "Hey, kids." And then they're saying, "Hey," you know what? They're doing too much. But Milton Kraft is also here. He's a businessman, much like yourself.
He's a businessman.
He's a businessman, much like yourself. A Southern guy. He is saying good morning. Our kids are laughing. And he's also saying, "Hey, Mr. Staten," to you, directly to you. So this is going to be a fun day, because you are a singer, you are a pastor, you are a songwriter. And in my experience, because I'm a preacher's kid, it seems like the pastor could always sing or play music or something like that. But for you, it goes a lot further. You're not just singing or, across the pulpit or with friends. You're actually recording, and you've actually got some big names under your belt. So tell us about your son's godfather, if we can say that.
Yeah.
We can say godfather. Give all your business out. Speaking of your business, Yaya Bay says, "Blessings, family. I hope all is well." And Marvina Will says, "Good morning, family."
Ready, Philip? Ready, XDMC? Open the air.
You know what? Don't listen to him. Let's get back to the recording. Yaya Bay says, "Peace and blessings, Pastor. May the Creator continue to guide you." So tell us about your godfather. Give it to us. Your son's godfather.
Well, my son's godfather was the late, great Douglas Miller, who just recently passed away. And I had the privilege to write a song for him, which never did get recorded. But I guess the great thing was we had the opportunity just to sit down and mull over the song a little bit. And, he's a great man. And a story of him becoming his godfather was kind of ironic, funny. We were living in Columbus, Ohio, and I invited Douglas Miller to come down and do a program for us. And when I invited him in, when he got to the front, I walked up to him and I put my son in his hand, and he was about yay big, and he was up there crying, and I was up there crying. I said, "I just want to know if you be his godfather." He said, "Man, I got a whole bunch of kids right now that's my godchildren." He said, "Man, I can't have a whole lot of them." I said, "Well, whatever the case scenario may be," but he did accept him, and it was just a tremendous thing. And he was a great man, and he will be missed.
For those of you that are familiar with music, Douglas Miller sang the song "My Soul Is Anchored in the Lord." So he's been.
Did you need me to sing a little bit so they know?
No.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
Go ahead. Well, go ahead, Adrian. You go ahead and sing it.
Well, Sonia with the Y says, "Welcome." You know what?
Go ahead.
See, I was just gonna cut you off because I knew what you were gonna say. I knew you were gonna do me wrong. Sonia with the Y says, "Welcome, Pastor, funny man, singer, Reverend, Doctor, Bishop, my soul." See,
Come on. I know that's right.
But that key.
I'm gonna just hit the mute button. See, so let's get back to you.
But you've also written songs for Biddy Newborn, who is is connected to Shirley Caesar, right? And for those of you who don't know Shirley Caesar, I'll help you out. You got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, ham, lamb, dog, balls, you name it.
Yeah, she's a friend. We got together, we started talking on the phone, and then we connected through Facebook, and then we ended up going to Raleigh, North Carolina, and we got together, and I introduced the song to her, and they fell in love with it. And it's just history now. I believe that it's going to get put into production sometime soon. We talk to one another right often, but yeah, it's a tremendous song. And she's a tremendous singer and directress. That's what they call her, directress. If you ever seen the award ceremony, the Dove Awards and the other awards, she's the one with all the hair and the designs, and the shoes match her hair design, and you know, she's tremendous. But yeah, I've written for her and quite a few local gospel artists as well.
Now, as a songwriter, there are probably lots of aspiring songwriters out there, and I'm sure XDMC can relate to this, being in the field of producing commercials and working with the television industry. There's always a process to make sure your intellectual property stays protected. What is your process as far as registering the Library of Congress and getting royalties to make sure that those entities are paying you for your radio airplay?
Yeah, because like I have a flyer up right now, Corey. He looks really fancy right here. You know, Pastor Ray Staten Jr., prophet, evangelist, singer, songwriter, booking info. And so, you know, you have all of your information right there, but people see these things and they think, oh, wow, you know, you just got it going on. These things just happen because as a pastor, don't these things just happen? But for what you're saying, Corey, is that they don't. You do have to get some work done. We've got your information flowing at the bottom of the screen for anybody that couldn't catch it off the flyer. So yeah, tell us about that process. You were saying, you know, okay, Douglas Miller, My Soul Is Anchored, the one that sings that song, My Soul Is Anchored in the Lord. He is your son's godfather. So it sounds like, oh, great, there's a personal connection. Biddy Newborn, like you said, you've been in contact with her. And so you have a personal relationship. Then you have Bishop Donald Battle. You've produced with him and other local artists and different folks that have gone to different places. They're in California now. But are these things just like, you know, personal relationships? Do you just kind of say, hey, hook me up? Or do you have to do, you know what I mean? Do you have to actually do some professional stuff?
Yeah, you got to do your due diligence, man. You got to, you know, hone in on your craft, because being a songwriter is not easy. And I often tell people, you know, when it comes to songwriting, it came easy for me because, number one, I started off writing poetry. I love poetry. And so I tell people, if you can write a poem, you can write a song. And so I started off writing poetry, but then that was at a younger age. And I always loved music. And it just so happened to be that when I got a little older, I was blessed with the gift to be able to hear music. And so I started writing songs, and then the melody would come. And now I progressed to the point where the melody and the song just comes to me. And sometimes I'll da 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 in the middle of the melody until I get words to come to it. But in that, putting all your music together, getting everything where it's quality to introduce it to someone, you got to do your due diligence.
So we have Philip Baldo Jr. saying, Pastor, you fancy, huh? So, it's not a matter of let me just hang out with friends. You
Right.
have to do, when you say due diligence, you're talking about like copyright stuff. Like, tell us about how
Copyright.
it works with ASCAP and what is it?
BMI.
Yeah, I know when we
BMI.
were producing our productions, like our CDs here, and all the good things, people see the end result and they think, oh, okay, that's cool. But you have to go through a few processes. And Corey was the one who had us going to ASCAP and BMI and finding producers and things like that.
And I actually was influenced by you knowing your experience, because I do remember years ago, you'll see how long ago this was when I finished the story. But you were the first person that I ever had a personal connection to that went into a studio and recorded a single with a B-side. And when you presented it to us, it was like,
wait, what you mean a single with a B-side?
The single.
We got old and young people.
Right,
young
that's
people
true.
don't even know what a B-side is.
Single is the lead song that you want to come out first on your album. The B-side is a secondary song that goes along with it. So the lead song might be something that's really popular, or that has a certain tone to it that's going to attract the attention of the radio and listeners. And then the B-song side is a song that you want to follow up with. So he gives us a cassette tape. A cassette tape, and it has just professionally done. It's got the ink, the writing, the song title, and the artist's name is printed on the cassette tape. Then his cover was a professionally done photograph of himself and graphic design work. And this is in the days of dot matrix printers. How he got this done, I don't know. But the cover for this cassette tape was professionally done, and it was it was shrink wrapped and everything. And it was like, wow.
I got a professional looking picture right here, Corey, because Philip Baldo Jr. said, Pastor, you fancy, huh? So tell us a little bit about this process, like Corey's talking about the ASCAP, the BMI, finding what are those two things? First of all, finding a studio, because I know you said you had a story about recording in the attic. So that was the name of the studio. That's what y'all affectionately named it. But I got to shout somebody out. We got my mama in the house.
Mama C in the house.
She says, morning, everyone, power in the tube from Mama C. And then Philip Baldo Jr. also says, Pastor, have you produced any praise breaks? And will there be one today before the show ends? He's also shouting out my mama.
Hey, I never produced a praise break, but we can get one. We can have one right now.
So you tell us about how this works.
With the due diligence of
ASCAP,
copyright, ASCAP.
What are those things?
What are those things, and how do they protect you as an artist? Because there are other artists that might be listening to this that are having these questions. And I
know Sonia with the Y is a vocalist. She sings in church currently with her praise team. And she's sung with so many bands over the years and different groups and different events, special events. But if she wants to go out here and produce, tell us about the attic. Tell us what is ASCAP, what is BMI, how do those things work?
Okay, well, ASCAP and BMI, they're basically companies that will protect you, especially when you're trying to produce music and it's going to go on the radio, or on television. The thing of it is you're going to want some royalties behind this thing. You're not just going to put your stuff out there and it'll be done for free. And so those two companies will protect you as far as that's concerned. And the process is when you write your song or book or whatever the case scenario may be, you go through these two companies and they will actually help regulate the royalties of the monies that would come to you. And it will cover you. And the next step for me would be to copyright them in the copyright office. You would get your. It's better to do it online now. But when I first started, it started out with paper applications.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But you actually now do it online. And you get your songs copywritten. And I have close to 260 songs that I've written, actually a little more than that now. But I introduced my songs to the copyright office in a volume. and so I have like certain amount of songs in the volume of a book, and to the ones that you're going to actually have um, prepared to be used by other artists or to put on your project, you put them in as work for hire, or things that you're gonna have produced on TV or radio, whatever. You go for work for hire, and that's gonna connect the dots between that and your ASCAP or whatever, and allow you to get your little funds to come in.
Nice.
The cool thing about the copywriting is now, like I said before, it was you mail in the paperwork. Your copyright was good as of the postmark that you mailed your application in. Now, what happens is because you do it digitally, then you actually get an email confirming receipt of your payment and your copyright.
Exactly.
And then
that they got the payment, that you're covered.
That you're covered. And as of the
protected.
date of that email receipt, you are covered. That's just your intellectual property is protected.
And like you're saying, basically, when your song's played, ASCAP and BMI, they pick that up so you can get the royalties.
Exactly.
Now,
Okay, so wait a minute. We got a shout out. Hey, Kenny. We got Snow Kenny saying good morning.
Kenny Snowden in the house, another vocalist and business owner. And so we'll be talking to Kenny one of these days pretty soon.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of people out here need help. So I don't know if you can help this person. Sonia with the Y is asking, will there, Corey's trying to point to me.
He says people need help.
I don't need help. Will She says, will he be doing an altar call? I need prayer before I go back to work and deal with these people.
He won't be doing an altar call, but he will be telling us about how you're working currently with a Grammy Award-winning producer who's produced people like Mary J. Blige and a host of others on your next project that's coming out, your album that's coming out.
Oh, Lionel Green.
Lionel Green. So tell us about what the project is and how you got connected to Lionel Green.
And the other thing with Lionel Green is that David Hunt, he's also a musician. He's watching. He says he's late to the party, but he's not. He is here. Everybody's saying hi to him.
Check out David Hunt's channel, and don't forget to check out Milton Craft's channel as well, Man on the Mission.
Yeah, Milton Craft is doing great things. So 2 questions for you then. That first question about Lionel Green, and David Hunt is asking, is ASCAP better than BMI? So do you want to do one or both? How does this work? Everybody's speaking to each other in the chat. David and Sonia with the Y, he's saying aloha. Sonia with the Y is saying, yes, this is great information, but Brianna Staten Hunkler is saying good morning.
Good morning.
So we got a veterinarian in the house. We got singers and musicians in the house. Tell us, is ASCAP better than BMI? Are they about the same? And then tell us a story about Lionel Green as well.
Yeah, they're about the same. It's boils down to preference. I'm with BMI, and when I started out with BMI, they had a letter that they would send out every month, and they would keep you abreast on what's going on in the company. So I just felt kind of connected a little more with them, and they offered a lot of things as far as information wise, and they, I guess I was just drawn to them. So it's a thing of preference. And when it comes to Lionel Green, he has an amazing studio in Maryland, and I'm excited to be going there with them on the 16th of this month, and we'll be there for 3 days, and we're going to record my EP, and we're going to just get down with it, get down. I'm excited to get back in the studio. And when you talking about studio, it takes me back to when I first started in Columbus, Ohio. A gentleman by the name of Carlos Waller. We call him Coast. He's living in Hollywood now, and he's working with Babyface in his studio and so many people. But I started off doing my recordings in a room in his house, and it was an attic. And so we called his lab the attic. And, he had a whole bunch of old school stuff he had put together. And I'm like, this stuff's dusty, man. And it don't look like it's going to work right. But when he produced this music, man, this guy knew what he was doing. He's tremendous. And some of my first, actually about 6 of my first songs that I've done in his studio. And to transcend from there to Elizabeth City State University. And I did that cassette. Actually, before I went there to Ohio in Elizabeth City State University's state-of-the-art studio. and then to now to get ready to work with a Grammy Award winning artist. And he co-wrote "I'm Lost Without You" for BB and CeCe Winans, and he produced for DMX and so many people, Usher, and quite a few people, you know, on in and out of the gospel arena, and you know, and to be chosen, and you know, to be thought of enough to, you know, be asked to come to the studio and work with him. I'm just so excited. And even in the end of the week, this particular week, I will be doing a comedy show in Maryland as well. So I'm excited about that.
So you're influencing people, like I said, and for those of you that joined us, Wade Staten Jr. has been a positive influence on my life. He was the one that taught me how to monkey neck people on the football field, so I could get that pass rush going. But you're still mentoring young people to this day because you and your family, you have a family owned and operated business. It's a child care learning center, and it has such a you've been doing such a fantastic job there.
That's his family right there on the screen. His wife, it's across from him, his daughter's behind him, his son, an excellent football player as well. I know you've mentored your family, your children. They are so wonderful. Your son's in college right now. And then, like you're saying, Corey, your family, you have a family business.
And you guys been able to influence children, and so much to the point that when the pandemic started, your childcare center was one of the few childcare centers in the city.
Rehoboth Learning Academy, that's it.
That was allowed to remain open and take over capacity for first responders, the children of first responders. So firefighters, police officers, nurses, doctors. You were actually providing childcare for them in the early stages of the pandemic, and you continue to do so today. So tell us about the Rehoboth Learning Center and all the wonderful work you're doing through mentoring, tutoring, and childcare.
Well, you say mentoring and tutoring. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, Rehoboth Learning Academy, it's man, this daycare is tremendous. My wife and my daughter, they are the director and assistant director, and we're 45% Hispanic. And the children in our daycare, they leave our daycare speaking 2 different languages. And
oh, wow.
actually, my wife, she does sign language, and so some of the kids learn a 3rd language, and it's just tremendous.
So let me ask you this. I'm looking here at your family picture, and I think it's great. Like, you know, the one where you're on the steps, but wait, Sean said, who chose this picture? But, I mean, I think it's great. You know, I think the family looks awesome, and, you know, it really shows the excellence. But speaking of excellence,
Hitman in the house.
Yeah. So speaking of excellence, you were explaining that, you know, Rehoboth, you all have your tutoring section. Like, you guys are not just a daycare for early childhood care. You have older children that are being tutored. You have multi-languages happening there, sign language, Spanish, English. And then you also were one of the only places during the pandemic that was allowed to remain open. You never closed. And then they even turned their head a little bit when you went over capacity, because they realized that other essential workers needed childcare. So firefighters, medical workers, and things like that. They were able to bring their children. So you all actually had an influx. You had a lot of growth. And so this way, if people wanted to find a place to gather, and they also wanted their spiritual help, they could come and join you guys at the gathering place. Is that right?
Very much so. Yeah. It's a tremendous atmosphere. You know, the name Rehoboth Learning Academy came from the ministry, and Rehoboth Kingdom International Ministry, and that is our umbrella of our, you know, ministry, period. Mm-hmm. And the gathering place is the name of the building. And so with us having our daycare, we named the daycare after Rehoboth. So Rehoboth is actually a well. Yeah, that's us there.
Nice.
But Rehoboth, the name Rehoboth is actually means a large place, and so I believe that whatever we do, God expects us to grow and expand, and He just doesn't want us to stay in a confined place. And so that's what we want to do to the kids' minds, to expand their minds, and for them to occupy all the space in their heart with learning and in their mind with learning. And so we do have a tutoring program. The tutoring program is called AIM, Academic Intercounty Mediation Tutorial Program. And we'll tutor up to high school age. Right now, we have a concentration of middle school and elementary school. And this is outside of the daycare. And so we even have a teacher at our daycare that has a master's. So if there's people who need help in math or English or whatever, we can accommodate them.
This is so good.
And you're about to expand on, you bringing all this together. I know you have a new project you're launching called A New You, and that's A New and then U like university.
Oh, you know what, Corey? Speaking of a new you, and you being university, Snow Kenny says, love my family. Y'all keep up the good work. He's been a part of this new you, because he has renewed himself. He's a business owner, all that kind of stuff. Or is it that kind of university where we like renew ourselves and, or is it a tutoring? What is it? Tell us more about it.
Well, a new you, we came up with this because in our city, it's a small city, and it's been a lot of murders. It's been a lot of killing. And it's been a lot of things going on, man, that people need to revamp their thought process, their minds, and they need some safe havens and some places to go to that can help them, with their thought processes. And, we're heavily involved with youth and in the community. And so we came up with
this sounds bad. It sounds like I set Kenny up, like Kenny was the one doing the murder.
Yeah, it did come out like that. So.
He was a good guy, y'all.
Was?
No, you know what I mean? He was a good guy before. He was a business owner, an entrepreneur, a dad, a husband, all that kind of stuff. I got a question for you. Philip Waldo Jr. says, Pastor, who will be teaching Corey when he comes back to Rehoboth?
Well, just so you know, Wade, that all the crime going on in your town, I bet you everyone that gets arrested is last name Waldo. So let's keep moving.
Well, Philip Waldo is advising you guys, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. This has been wonderful here with you today, Wade Staten Jr. You are the best mentor ever because you're using all of these different avenues to impact people, to positively impact people, to coach folks. It's just amazing. Keep up the good work. Any parting words for our audience if they're trying to figure out, what do I do? How do I just be a new me? Tell us maybe through a new you how they can do that.
Well, number one, I say you always follow your passion, and your passion is connected to your heartstrings. And when you follow your passion, man, you always succeed. And when I'm dealing with a new you, it's basically a program that we designed to help these kids who have talents and giftings that may be straying away a little bit. And so to teach them how to be a new you is to gather your talents and gather your abilities and giftings and use them in a better direction. Like if you can write a rap and talking about killing and shooting and all these other things, you can write a song, a poem, you can write a book. And so our intent is to give them studio time. If you can rap and you have the ability to sing or whatever, and depends on what the content of your music is, we want to revamp this and give you studio time. But in order to get studio time, you got to take a class with me. And this is a songwriting class, a book writing class, a poetry writing class to show you that you can do more than, just cuss and do whatever you do, as far as gangster rap or whatever, and give you other avenues.
So that's basically what I know the gathering place, like you're saying, it's a place where it's a transformable place. It's not just like a church. You can use this as a hall, a community center, the studio for people to come record. Now, I'm not sure, but Philip Waldo Jr. is saying that you seem like a good mentor, but Philip Waldo Jr. is saying we will not judge your mentorship based on
there were other influences on that one besides Wade Jr., but we want to thank you. We're going to transition. We want to thank you for your time today. It's been wonderful having you. You have been a very good role model in my life and the lives of others around you. So we appreciate you being here. Continue the good work. And now we're going to shift to something that we all enjoy.
Wait, you didn't even let him say thank you.
He doesn't need to say thank you.
Why not?
Because he's just supposed to glow and soak in the accolades.
Okay, well, glow and soak in this. Sonia with the Y says, what a positive, inspiring, and motivated show. It's always live. Thank you, Sonia with the Y. We appreciate that. So thank you so much, Wade Staten, for being the best mentor ever, for bringing out all of these different ways for people to be, the best them that they can be.
Thank you. I appreciate having me up here, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and what we're going to do is we're going to shift to something that most pastors know best. It's food. We're going to get you to hang back in the backstage area. We'll talk to you when the broadcast is over, because now, as we always say, we're trying to get LaQuita Marie is on a mission. She's a woman on a mission. She's about her business, making sure that everyone around her eats more fruits and vegetables. And she's found creative ways to get us to do the same thing through her plant-based treats. So now, it's time for today's plant-based treat by Chef LaQuita Marie.
Mighty meatless meatball subs.
Our onions, red cabbage, purple cabbage, and some garlic. I'm going to saute those.
Garlic and onions have antioxidants like vitamin C that fight colon, prostate, lung, and brain cancers.
We made our own meatless meatballs, but you can find them in grocery stores too.
These meatballs are full of Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, and broccoli, full of vitamin C, E, and beta-carotene that are powerful antioxidants that are great for your vision. The fennel in the meatballs has selenium for improved liver function and reducing inflammation.
I'm going to go ahead and get our bread toasted. I've got some top split buns.
Toast the bread with the plant-based cheese.
Follow Your Heart brand is a favorite of ours, and it is dairy-free cheese alternative, lactose-free, soy-free, vegan, casein-free.
The meatballs are seasoned with thyme, which is a great antibacterial for reducing foodborne illnesses. There's also a chemical in thyme that reduces tumor growth, and it's a great antiseptic for sore throats.
Our vegetables sauteed here. We're just going to season them up a little bit with this Sazon Complete, maybe a half teaspoon.
Red cabbage is loaded with vitamins, cancer-fighting flavonoids, and antioxidants. These help your eyes, teeth, bones, and your immune system. Flavonoids also help with weight loss.
Add about a cup of salsa.
In the salsa, there are tomatoes, which are full of lycopene for healthy prostate and eyes. There's also vinegar for reducing sinus inflammation and helps lower your blood pressure.
Build your sub with the cheesy bread sauce and the meatballs. I tried the meatball by itself, but with everything together, it made a really well mixture.
These meatball subs are delicious. I typically don't like meatball subs because they're messy. The marinara sauce is just kind of boring. And without the sauce, the meatballs don't have much taste. But the sauce on these meatballs wasn't messy at all. It tasted great, and the meatballs were full of flavor, and I really enjoyed it. All right, so those meatball subs, meatless meatball subs were delicious. And remember, food is medicine, everybody. So all those wonderful health facts about the different ingredients, take that to heart, because you eat to live, not live to eat.
Well, you know what?
Even though I don't look like I follow that, that prescription.
Well, you know what, Corey? Philip Waldo Jr. is saying, thank you, Pastor, for your wisdom. So they had a great time with our guest. And David Hunt says, I love cabbage. You know, the funny thing is that when you put all these different vegetables together to create these plant-based meats, they don't taste like the vegetables. They actually, yeah, it's weird, but they taste like the different seasonings and the herbs that you add to them. So it's just amazing, but they are delicious. And it's not just me saying that. I've had meat eaters that have given us reviews as well. So how do we say goodbye, Corey?
We want to thank you for joining us on this episode of Blind Guy,
His Wife,
Their Life Live. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and most importantly, share this information with somebody that's important in your life that could benefit from it. Tune in tomorrow at 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to be traveling over virtually to Dubai to meet with international businesswoman Elizabeth. So thank you for joining us on this episode of Blind, and let us know if you have any questions for us. Let us know in the comments, what information you'd like to share, or if you have anybody that's a topic of interest, a profession that's out there that you want us to highlight, please send us an email. We definitely would like to get more information about future guests. So, LaQuita Marie, we want to thank everybody for coming today to this episode of A Blind Guy,
His Wife,
Their Life Live. And to say goodbye, I'm going to say goodbye and honor our featured guest by saying, front hooves up, back hooves down, number 7 in their house. Oh, deuces.